few weeks ago, I shot a video on how to create and build sexual tension. I'll link to that video right here in the show notes below. But in that video, I explained that sometimes when you try to create sexual tension with somebody, it's unwelcome, and then you run the risk of coming across as creepy. And nobody wants to be that creepy guy. So in that video, I promised I would do a follow-up all about creepiness and what causes creepiness and how to avoid being the creeper completely. So in the video on sexual tension, which you might want to watch before you watch this one, I talk about natural sexual polarity, having fun with that awkward feeling that arises when sexual polarity happens between strangers. And that awkwardness is sexual tension. And what causes creepiness is when men try to create sexual tension when they know they shouldn't, and they do know. So let's unpack why we men sometimes end up doing it anyway and being that creepy guy. So first, there's an absolute ton of dating advice online, and most of that dating advice, though probably not all of it, is pretty predatory. And most of it begins with the idea of how to use some trick that's going to make her attracted to you. And since most of the guys that are most likely to be taking that advice are taking it because they've got some insecurities in this area, there ends up a disconnect between what they're doing, the trick or the technique, and who they actually believe themselves to be. And for a woman, this disconnect feels in her body like she just might be talking to a serial killer, because the guy's obviously trying to impress her, obviously he wants her, but also he's very obviously hiding something. Now, what he's hiding is that he's using a technique. He doesn't really believe that he deserves her, but she doesn't know that. So for all she knows, what he's hiding is his last 3 girlfriends buried in his backyard. And that's creepy, right? So second, and this is extremely common, a lot of men growing up feeling like their sexuality is just yucky. They cognitively know, they're grown-ups, they know that sex is natural, it's good, women like sex as much as men, but their deep emotional body feels like women hate sex, women think penises are yucky, and their penis in particular is particularly yucky. It's just what happens in our childhood. Simple fact of the matter is that virtually every man has had some experience of having his sexuality or sexual desire shamed. Every man has been embarrassed, sometimes horrifically, about his penis and his hard-on. And so there's this disconnect. He's an adult now. He's trying to meet a girl. He's maybe seen my video on creating sexual tension, and he's flirting. He's creating sexual tension, but also, there's this track playing in the background. She thinks I'm probably gross. She's disgusted by the idea that I want to put my penis in her. She's freaking out. But he's really interested in her. She's pretty. She's got a nice smile. She smells nice. Her laugh is like the nectar of the divine feminine. I mean, he wants her, so he perseveres. And then she gets creeped out, and that sucks, right? All right, third, most humans, nearly all humans, have an internal sense of unworthiness. And for some of us, it comes out in a relationship, even after we're married sometimes. It sabotages stuff. I work with a lot of people around this stuff, and it's hard stuff to deal with. We do have to deal with it, though. And sometimes it shows up right from hello. And like in the examples above, even if he's a good guy on some deep primal level, he feels like he's not good enough. Once again, it's this discord between creating sexual tension and not feeling worthy of creating sexual tension with this particular woman that creates creepiness. Sometimes. I mean, if things go well, it might create more of a Hugh Grant-style awkwardness, which can be charming, it can be good, it can create more sexual tension. It depends upon the guy. And here's the thing. In any of these situations, it's 100% possible to turn the creepy around with some truth and some self-deprecation and a light laugh for our shared humanity. It can all work out. It really can. And that brings me to number 4, and this is the creepiest creeper of all. See, in an extreme case, many men use sexual tension as a weapon. They know they have no shot. Their insecurities have taken over their lives. They fully believe that they need a trick to get a woman into bed, that their sexuality is yucky, and that they are unworthy. They believe it. And they are so angry at it all, so fed up with being lonely, with being the loser, so fed up with not knowing what to do, and so angry with society, with God for making them undesirable with women, most of all, angry with the women for always rejecting them, that they use sexual polarity, their obvious sexual desire, to leer at women, insult women, and catcall women, and to punish her for their anger and feelings of unworthiness. And that is really creepy. And it sounds like I'm talking about some weirdo asshole. And yes, some of these guys are assholes, but the weird, sad, messy truth is there's a lot of pretty normal, pretty nice guys who end up doing this, rather subconsciously weaponizing this. And at some point, they really do feel hopeless about being the creeper. And, all of their anger and feelings of unworthiness just come out at the other person. And fuck, man, look, if you think this might be you, please go check out The Power Switch. The path isn't easy, but it is possible to become something very different in your own lifetime. In summary, creepiness is the result of the sexual aggressor, usually a man, intentionally creating sexual tension when they believe they don't actually have any shot. Sometimes unintentionally, but sometimes then using that sexual tension as a weapon to punish the other person because of their own internal sense of unworthiness. Now, if you found this video helpful in understanding this, frankly, difficult part of human mating, do me a favor and subscribe, comment, please share with anyone you think might find it interesting or even important. That would really help out. Thank you.